I'll be reacting to Fantasia Sango Realm of Legends episode 2. I'll be watching it off of Crunchyroll's website, and I'll be starting my reaction in 1, 0, go. Oh yeah, I'm pumped up for this. Because honestly, the first episode had a pretty damn cool second half to its credit. Even though the first half did feel a little slow, if I'm being honest. I mean, at the very least, he prevented things from escalating. Whoa. But then again, I mean, my guess is Xiaoling had a pretty rough past, and that's why she's not so trusting. That's only my guess. At least they're mentioning the mechanics behind the Wanglings at the very least. Huh. At least it explains how the Wanglings can be stronger depending on the circumstance at the very least. That bucket is trying to fucking pump it all up. Although if I was in that group, I would still be worried of Xiaoling, though. Don't get me wrong, she did great in providing the muscle for the group, and if it wasn't for her, yeah, our group would be doomed. But part of me would like have a little bit of pause, though. Just a little bit, though. Then again, it's not like anyone in the unit can really do anything about it, because if they did, then the lady with the eye would completely terrorize them and do something to them. So it's not like they have any choice in the matter. Opening is pretty simple, though. This definitely feels more like an ED than an opening visually. Like, the singer for the opening has a really beautiful voice, though. I'm not going to take that away from her. But honestly, this is like this is actually one of the cheaper openings of the season. Like, there's not a lot of animation going on. And the animation that's in here is pretty simple, so to speak. Not saying the opening is terrible, it's just a little bit underwhelming if in comparison to the other openings this season. And saying that, some shots look good, though. Like the bit where he's smiling with Zhao Ling is actually pretty cool. I like that bit. I'm assuming they're going to have a really damn beautiful bond going into the series eventually. My guess is it'll probably take 4 or 5 episodes, though, for Zhao Ling to open herself up, though. I actually don't mind that they're repeating this again, even though they kind of did say this in the first episode. I don't mind a little refresher. As long as they don't have like the same narration every episode, it should be fine. Hello, Anime Doji. Kind of feel bad for the hunters, though. I mean, this job has to be a freaking pain in the fucking ass, though. All things considered. That's gonna suck if you're a hunter, though, just knowing that you're doing your job, and no matter what you do, it's never gonna be fucking finished. That's to be just a terrible psychological burden you gotta take on. She ain't wrong. Especially when someone's shy like that and you don't want to rush it too much because they could be startled. Because they're not used to like so much social interactions on which I could actually see where she's coming from. Hmm. I wonder why, though. It feels like that information would be useful for every human to have, though. Yeah, he's kind of being a dick. If you were to piss. Okay, this fucker's being irrational because if he were to piss off Xiaoling, Deng Yang would be the first victim if Xiaoling were to go absolutely wild. I'm just saying. I think he's going a little bit too far in like poking the figurative bear. Hell, if I was in his spot, I would try to be in my best behavior around Xiaoling. Just considering what she. Oh, it's that opening chick. I wonder if she has special ocular powers because even in the opening, it looks like her eyes were covered up. It is actually animated. That opening for Bisco was so damn good. I wonder if she's being truthful or she's just saying that just because they're with a man, so that she can manipulate the man. Yep, she's definitely stroking the man's ego. She definitely has. I would not be surprised if there's a wangling inside of that blade. If I was a man, I'd be asking that like, what cost? Though I'd be scared if I saw a blade with a fucking evil looking aura. Yo, what a cocky little fuck! Oh, I just love how he just throws caution at the wind. Oh, yeah, I can already tell the wangling's going into that body. Yo, what an evil bitch! But hey, she's smart though and cunning. When you have bait that easily attainable, you guess you go for it if you're in her spot. Ah, poor dude. I mean, at least they're trying to build a chemistry by having the protacs bust each other's chops. Well, I've seen better humorous chemistry between other leads and other anime. It's so. It's not cringe at the very least. It's a shame it's not subbed anime doji because I was gonna react to it today and it wasn't subbed, and I wanted to react to it yesterday and it wasn't subbed. Tell me when it gets subbed to animated doji. When you see it subbed, tell me immediately. Tell me immediately because I will make that a priority over any other anime. So when you see that subbed animated doji, inform me because I will react to that as quickly as possible. Because I always check for that series. Because I want to react to its second episode so badly. I like this. It's giving Xiaoling a little bit more characterization, seeing that she's got interest in things outside of combat. She's saying don't choose anything, John, yet she says choose your favorite. That's fucking adorable. Aww. I think Xiaoling is like that because she's prideful. And I'm assuming it's because she was mistreated in the past. Because when you're like that, you sometimes need to be prideful if everything's treating you or kicking you down when you're younger. That's my guess. That's why she acts the way she does. I mean, considering it's a magical setting, it wouldn't be surprised if there was a way to mask miasma. Hmm. At least finally someone's giving Zhao Ling a dose of reality there. Yeah, but the thing is, there's only so much you can do when you're by yourself, though. Okay, at least here we see why Zhao Ling hesitates getting close to other people. I like how she actually would hesitate, though, for a second, though, when she heard that Zhao Ling is like the only one that would not. I'm assuming she's going to change her mind eventually, though. And she never talks about herself in the first person, just the second person. Thank you for the info I made, OG. I like this characterization for Zhao Ling because, at the very least here, it shows you that she's not a mean-spirited lady. Like, it implies that she definitely doesn't want to see other people harmed because of her. So she warns people away from her. Because when she heard that there was someone concerned, she actually hesitated for a second. And she wouldn't have hesitated if that weren't the case. And saying that, I'm noticing a quality dip in animation quality, though, for the non-action sequences because a lot of the art is like kind of looking a bit derpier off model in comparison to episode 1. I only hope this means that the series didn't just fucking throw all of its money into like the first episode because I've seen a few anime this season do that so far. I don't think Xiaoling would be the type to be doing shit just for shits and giggles, yeah. Though. Everything she's done so far has been for a purpose, not just to play or fuck around. Whoa! He looks like an absolute grapester, this fucker. I like at the very least when they have their transformations, they're at the very least hand drawn and it's not a CGI abomination. Oh! I'm assuming this fucker is gonna regret saying that though, because once Xiaoling and the others show up, he's gonna regret that he ended up finding something that can actually challenge him. Damn! And saying that the CGI for breaking the blade was bad though, because it looks like a plastic toy was broken instead of a blade. That's my doubts about the series. Whenever it tries CGI, it doesn't work, but when it's 2D, it works for the most part. Yeah. Oh. Oh. Oh god, that was when he was gonna like stab an iris or something. That'd have been fucking creepy as hell. If it went that far. He's gonna regret giving her an opportunity to eat some miasma. That's for sure. Yeah, the animation looks different in comparison to episode 1 because when she transformed in the previous episode, it looked fucking gorgeous. Here, it's like, eh. I mean, at least it looks a little bit better, though. In this shot, in comparison to the animated scenes in the episode. Because at least we're seeing her facial expressions expressive. But again, it's like, when it comes to her shadowing the swords, the CGI doesn't look like it would naturally exist in an environment like this. Hell, you don't even see bits of the dude's body part shaded when there's like shards of blades going around his body, like you would in other anime whenever you see blade sharing animation. Really? You went with the lazy approach of black screens with flashing lights? Oh no. Oh man, talk about absolute laziness there. Well, Lordy and Mello is part of the it's part of the Fates Night series, so I don't see a need to react to that one. Anime Dojo, you know how I am. I only react to non-sequels and non-spin-offs for the most part. And you already asked me about Mahonka various times. I'm not going to react to it because most people I know say that series is trash. So I'm not even going to bother with that series. Well, Mello, I'll watch it, but on my own time. And hopefully now Jowling actually learns that she can't do everything by herself because even someone like her would need help from time to time. She was getting her ass whooped when she was fighting by herself. I mean, he was clever enough to find his location, so I'd say that's pretty fucking clever if you ask me. They're just repeating like the same animation frames multiple times. It doesn't really make. What happened to like the creativity of episode 1 when you had like dynamic choreography? It feels like it's now fucking gone in this episode. I like that. It shows the character development for Zhao Lang because when Ying was attacked her, she actually showed a little bit of a concern. So that is some nice character development there. It ain't like this episode doesn't have any upsides. It does have a few. Yeah, our boy. And you can even tell the lack of detail because they don't even put any shading on the floor. Okay, now they put some shading, but it's inconsistent when it comes to the shading. Sometimes you see shading when he's on the floor, and other times you don't. A little bit inconsistent. Finally, the backup shows up. I've been wondering when our beautiful lady was going to show up. Lordy Mello's is a spin-off, though, so I'm not watching that one animated anytime soon. And Mahoka is a terrible series, I've heard, so I'm not going to check that one either. At least I heard it's terrible. Good, I hope they put some concern into that bitch's soul. And saying that, though, I wish when she did the animation, they would animate at least some backgrounds. Okay, at least the attack animation for that bit actually looked a little decent. Is it enough to redeem the fight scene for me? Not really. And I'll explain why once I give my overview of the episode. I'm assuming that's where Zhao Ling is going to... Oh, I thought for a second Zhao Ling was going to do something. Hey, our boy's got a plan. I like this. At least here it shows you how spontaneous our main boy can be when it comes to part of his planning. And to the credit of the scene, this is actually going to be a good scene for Zhao Ling, because at least here, she's finally going to be forced to actually work with the others to actually win. And saying that, yeah, this episode definitely didn't really hold a candle to episode 1, though. Like, holy shit. And saying that, it is an upset that every single time Zhao Ling utilizes her abilities, considering how powerful she is, it looks like there are visible physical consequences. So at the very least, she isn't broken without any consequences or drawbacks. So that's one positive going to the favor of the series so far. You can tell that we're doing cost-cutting measures, because that would have been more emotional seeing our boy's face as he was saying, and not just, oh yeah, we'll have a back shot because the animators can't be bothered of showing his facial expressions as he's saying something with emotional gravitas. Like, you can definitely tell the animation team in charge of this episode didn't really know what the fuck they were doing. Yeah, nope. She knows she can't say anything because she was almost got her annihilated when she tried to go up. Yes, finally, fucking finally, she says thank you. Hell yeah. Hey, that's progress. No, they all did something. Even the comedy relief guy did something, to his credit. All right. Looks like the episode's over. Well, let me give you all my thoughts on the episode. Okay, I mean, thank you for the info, Anime Doji. I'm just not interested in the Mahoka franchise. The series has bad reception, and I'm not interested in seeing a series that has bad reception, unless, again, it's a Patreon request. So that'd be the only way to watch something with bad reception. If it's to the point where someone's like, oh yeah, here's a Patreon, then I'd do it. But if something has bad reception, I'm not interested in checking it out. If it has good reception, then I'll consider checking it out, even without a Patreon request. So yeah, I'm just not interested in that series, Anime Doji. I am not. Now, the El Mellow one, yes, I'm interested in that one. But not Mahoka, though, in case you're wondering. But I gotta get back on topic to Fantasia Sango, the Anime Doji. I thought this episode was bad. Let me explain why. For one, it's like part of the hook of the series is for the action sequences to look good. But man, the animation was fucking lame as fuck. Because part of the appeal is for them to, okay, Wangelings take care of the situation. But if the animation is going to look like utter dog shit when they do that, then the series has really no value. And let me explain why. Literally, the action sequence consisted of our main boy doing his shield, the main villain attacking it multiple times, and then the shield is about to break, but then girl shows up, regenerates the shield, and then our girl Xiaoling trying to get some hits in. But the issue with that is, in episode 1, when Xiaoling was fighting the enemy in episode 1, she was trying to constantly get an advantage by trying to go around the opposition. Like, episode 1 had nice creative animation. This episode had jack shit when it came to creativity and fight scenes, because it was Xiaoling just trying to charge in to the enemy, and that's it, without any strategy, without any creativity. And that's what made the action sequence absolutely, utterly fucking dull. And that's my issue when it comes to the fight sequences, because with the lack of creativity, it makes you wonder, why should I give a shit when it's obvious the animators don't even give a shit? And the issue is, if I count the screen time of the episode, almost literally half of the fucking episode was spent on the fight scene and building up the fight. So when half of what you're building up looks like fucking crap, it's hard to get emotionally invested into the whole thing. Especially since action is the appeal to the show. At least when I was watching episode fucking 1, this episode was a fucking dumpster fire. And it's a fucking action anime. There should be no excuses for it to look so fucking bad. Now, and saying that, even though from a story standpoint, the animators failed in the portraying the action sequences, there wasn't really much either when it came to like scenes of levity where I was like, oh man, this is fucking good. Like the character dialogue, while it wasn't cringe, it wasn't amazing. It didn't make me laugh or anything like that, because you can definitely tell the writing staff were trying to go for jokes, but it just felt like any of the attempts for jokes just fell bland. And it didn't help that the animation was fucking awful too. So that's why, from a narrative standpoint, I think the episode doesn't succeed. And honestly, if I had to rate this from a character standpoint, that's the only bit where you could argue it succeeds a little bit. Because at the very least, in the episode, there was the positive of there being a moment where you have Zhao Ling realize that, yeah, after she gets almost pulverized, taking on the Wang Ling by herself, she realizes after some convincing from Yang Ji's team that, yeah, she's got to fight as a team. She can't be doing this shit by herself, because if not, her chances of dying are absolutely higher. So that was about the only positive in this episode, that she goes through some growth. And I like how it shows us Yang Ji's his faith in his teammates and how he wants to believe in Zhao Ling despite Zhao Ling's monster of abilities. Oh, hello, Fernando Castro. So that's why I thought there were some positives in this episode, despite the script being a dumpster fire, due to the fact that the action set pieces were badly animated. Because part of the appeal to me when it comes to the writing standpoint is the visuals, because it's part of the action. It's part of what's written on the page. If the action's written badly, then the episode's not going to work, which in this case it didn't. But at least when it came to character bits, the episode wasn't that bad. You already know my thoughts on the animation. It was fucking awful. Like anything that could have been emotional, like when Yang Ji was giving the speech to the guy taken over by the Wang Ling, it was just lowered because we didn't see his facial expressions. You had bits where when characters were hit, it was done with like black screens of flashing light. That is some like shitty ass fucking 90s, 80s animation cost cutting measures. And even then, that'd be a disgrace to those series, because I've seen series from the 90s and 80s, and even movies from like the 70s, and movies from the 70s better animated than this fucking dumpster fire. So yeah, animation-wise, the episode utterly failed. There's no debates about it. It is a fact. It failed. It failed epically. Artwork was pretty crap too. There were instances where the artwork was off model. And that's why if I had to rate the episode over on a scale of 1 to 10, I'm going to give it a 4 out of 10. For those who are wondering why I didn't give it anything harsher, like a 3 or 2 out of 10, it's because I legitimately did like the character element for Zhao Ling. No, I gave this episode a 4 out of 10. I made it OG. It was that awful. I'm not going to give it anything. 5 would imply that the episode was average. No, it couldn't even muster average. If the fight scene would have looked good, then I'd be like, okay, I'll give it average. But it couldn't even do that. Episode 1 did good. If this series had the quality of episode 1 from start to finish, the series would be good. Unfortunately, it doesn't. This series fell apart in its second episode, for fuck's sake. That's sad. Because I was honestly expecting more from this series. But unfortunately, it couldn't hold the candle to episode 1. I mean, I'm still going to react to episode 3, but I ain't expecting jack shit from episode 3 at this point. Because now I'm just expecting myself to be utterly disappointed with the rest of the episodes of the series, but I'm still going to give it more shots, though. I mean, I'll give credit to some component, though. I thought the voice acting was great. I'm going to react to Rusted Armor episode 2, in case you're curious. So, yeah, that's the one I'll be doing next time at OG. But anyways, right before I go, let me just say thank you very much to Animate OG and Fernando Castro. Thank you very much for commenting on the live chat. And also, thank you everyone else for watching my video. Hope y'all rate it, share it, comment, subscribe, and I'll see y'all later if you come back for more. But anyways, y'all, thank you so much for watching my video. Have a fantastic day or night, everyone. Bye-bye.